Hi everyone, this is Noah Sandler from Mtgo Academy, and today we're going to be doing another Oath of the Gatewatch sealed league. So this was the last one I did. Join the league, and let's take a look at the pool. Okay, so we'll sort by rarity. Got a foil in here somewhere, right? Or no? Okay, miscounting. Okay, I got 6 rares. Jorien, Munda's Vanguard, Oath of the Gideon, Zada, Wandering Funeral. They're all red, blue, white ally cards. That's pretty interesting. So maybe we'll be doing a red, white, blue ally deck. I guess this isn't an ally, but yeah, that's kind of interesting. Just red, white, maybe. Bane of the Balagad, nice. 2 Cliffhaven Vampires, quite good. Essence Depleter, Flare, Drone, Grip of Desolation. That's a lot of good black. Hedron Archive, probably make the cut. 2 Immolating Glares, be good for a nice control deck. Weapons Trainer, another red-white ally. Nyssa's Judgment, Seed Guardians, a little bit of good green. So we'll go to Color Sort. Usually let's just look at how many Oblivion Strikes we have, and we have 1. And then also no Isolations. 2 Spawnbinder Mages though, 3 Ondu War Clerics, so yeah, could definitely do a strong ally deck here. Very controlling. So let's get all of these in. And blue, 2 Blinding Drones, Avenger, Rush of Ice with the Jorien. Blue doesn't seem that great. Black, Slaughter Drone, Visions, Complete Disregard, Essence Depleter, Oblivion Strike, Grip, Chain Mage, and Colostria Healer for allies. Healer is definitely not as good in Seal as it is in Draft, but I mean this deck could have a lot of allies, so it actually would be pretty good if we end up with black being the main color. Could run and Witness the End. And then on to red. Outnumber, a couple Brute Strengths, Flame Seeker, would probably play if we're allies. I mean, I think we're definitely going to be white ally. Boulder Salvo, Zada, it's another ally. Some other cards that are reasonable, not allies though. And the green's okay, but a little shallow. Then black-white, get a couple more good allies. Whenever you gain life, each opponent loses 1 life. That's really good with these Ondu War Clerics. So I'd definitely consider a black splash. And then Munda and Weapons Trainer. Also Flare Drone. Holdout Settlement is nice. Unknown Shores. Seer's Lantern. And then we have a couple expensive Eldrazi's. Bane is probably worth it. Like no matter what. We do have a Hedron Archive, and then Pathfinders are like I would generally play 1 Pathfinder and Rune Processor, but I think we'll see how the deck kind of comes together. How many of these we want to run? We've got Seer's Lantern, Hedron Archive, so we can run some of these expensive Eldrazi, but and we also have a really nice ally thing going on. So. I guess one question, do we want to be heavy black or red? We could limit the red, I think, to just a splash. The black wants double black for Grip of Desolation. So Grip, Oblivion Strike, Complete Disregard, 2 Vampires, Essence Depleter, and Healer. That's really nice black for this deck. So I think red can be limited. Weapons Trainer on a splash. It is an ally, it's got good stats for the cost, but I don't think it has to be played. Like, we're going to run Shores and Settlements, so I don't know how many actual mountains we're going to run, so I don't think this is coming out on turn 2 almost ever, so that can probably be cut. Flare Drone is just a pretty nice creature for its cost. It might be cut. if we just end up with too many cards. And I think we're going to end up with a lot of playables. Zata, when we target Zata, make other copies of it, we do have 2 brute strengths and expedite, so that would be fun. But I mean, we could consider going that direction maybe. If we wanted to go more just red white base aggro allies, playing that where to go, that 3/2 weapons trainer, and then running expedite, 2 brute strengths. So the Zata plan would be kind of cool. I do think that just when you look at the pool overall, the 2 glares, 3 clerics, 2 mages, 2 vampires, all this removal, I think it just plays better as a control deck. So, well, that would be pretty fun to go for Zata. I think we should probably just minimize the red a bunch. So I think Flare Drone can go. Zata just as a 3/3 for 4. Now, it does have a big bullseye on its head, which gives it a little extra value, but we're really clunky at 4s anyway, so I don't think Zata's going to make the cut. Outnumber, if we end up pretty creature heavy, I don't think we're going to end up very creature heavy. The Oath does make 2 creatures, but as far as going for the splash, Outnumber is close, but I think we could maybe cut it. Definitely want all these Essence Depleters, nice for long games. Witness the End maybe could get cut, but for similar reasons I also kind of like it for long games. Maybe be able to get one of the bombs out of your opponent's hand. But I mean, this deck should definitely make for long games, and I think that means that we might want the Rune Processor. We have Witness, Oblivion Strike, Complete Disregard that exile cards. So I think that's enough that the processor is going to work a good amount of the time. Visions is usually quite good. It's better the more aggressive you are. I mean, it's honestly probably quite good here as well, because we're going to be gaining so much life. I mean, our opponents can't just keep swinging in. So this is pretty close to pacifism in this deck, so I think it actually has to make the cut. And I mean, Slaughter Drone's usually good, but we've got plenty of 2-drops, and we want just more allies. And now we're at 27 spells, so maybe Witness the End has to go. I think, well, Expedition Raptor is certainly good. I think it is cuttable. I mean, we maybe could just make this straight black-white. We'd be losing Boulder, Salvo, and Munda. And Munda is quite nice in this deck. So might be still worth splashing. We have 2 sources of red, and we'd probably just run 1 mountain. I think the Hedron Archive's good, can get to our 7-drops. Could maybe cut the Rune Processor. Maybe Zulaport Chainmage, but honestly I think we want just as many allies as we can get right now. Cluster Healer is also looking a little bit weaker. Still kind of cool with the Vampire, gives you an extra drain on it, and I think we just want like plenty of allies for our Clerics and Spawn Binder Mages and Vanguard. So probably just cut the Rune Processor. I'm not too excited about the -2 on the Chain Mage, but it is just another ally, and it's probably as easy to cast as Weapons Trainer is. So I think I want to keep it just for that. And we're at 24. This deck looks good. could just cut the red though. I mean, Munda's nice. I mean, each ally basically sets you up for another ally, and that seems ridiculous in this deck. And then he's also just an ally that you can tap for the allies that need another ally to tap. A lot of removal in this deck. So could be Chain Mage. I think I do want Bane. Yeah, this deck's really, really good. Maybe Visions. Like, I think I just want more allies, so I might just go with Chain Mage over Visions, and then like Bane just seems worth it because I mean the games are going to go pretty long, and we can remove any blockers out of the way. So seems like a reasonable finisher. So maybe just Visions. I mean, Boulder Salvo could also actually be worse than Visions, maybe. Should I cut the red? I think Munda's worth it. I guess Visions. We want the Seer's Lantern, definitely. I think we want all the rest of the removal. Salvo could kill something like a Jorian, like a utility creature that Visions can't. Visions maybe deals better with some of the really large creatures. We have a lot of ways to deal with large creatures anyway. So I guess I'll cut it. I think we can do 17 lands in the deck. And yeah, nothing else we need to add, so we'll go for one mountain. And probably even white and black. So we want the white early, and then eventually we want double black. So I think this looks good. Could maybe go one more red. If I cut a swamp, that gives us 8 sources for the grip. And grip is kind of a late game card, so that's probably reasonable. Alright, so we'll run this. I'm pretty excited about this deck. And I'll play 3 matches out like I did last time, give you a feel for how it plays. So I'll see you for round 1. Okay, ready to start the first match. So just hit play and wait for someone to show up. When they do, we just hit join match. And this deck is one of the clearest examples I've had in recent memory of a deck that wants to draw first. I think in the sealed format, I think drawing first is generally going to be right. Like, you know, at least more than half of the decks you have, I think, are typically going to want to draw first. And I mean, the more controlling, the more colors you're playing, generally you want to draw first more. If you do build an aggro deck, usually they'd want to play first. But you shouldn't be building aggro too often in this format. So opponent chose to play first, so we get to draw. But especially in this deck, you want to draw because we've got like multiple destroy target attacking creature for cheap mana, just a lot of removal, and the deck really just wants to sit there and drag the game out, gain more life, find some of its key pieces, and just win a really long game. One negative effect of that is that, you know, we are going to have to face a lot of our opponent's bombs because, you know, it's sealed, everyone gets 6 packs. There should be a lot of bombs that we'll be seeing, and because the game's going to go long, we're going to see a lot of those bombs. But good news is we have a lot of ways to kill basically any creature, so we should be fine. I think this deck has a good chance of going undefeated in this league. Okay, Coral Helm, Guide, Blinding Drone. Drone's usually the more annoying card. It is worth noting with how late we expect these games to be going. Eventually, the Coral Helm Guide could actually be a problem. But I mean, probably just going to remove the drone for now. That I know is going to be an issue. Opponent already has 2 colorless lands. And we can go for Munda next turn. And Munda can has a good shot of finding us another ally. We look 4 cards deep for an ally we can put on top. But that means we basically see 5 cards before, if the top 5 cards of our deck, if one of them is an ally, we're going to draw it next. Because if you put the 4 on the bottom, then the 5th card, if that's an ally, that works too. We find Cliffhaven and Spawnbinder Mage. I think Cliffhaven's probably better, so I'll take that. Wait, reveal any number of ally cards. You may put those cards on top. Wow. Yeah, let's take both. Wow, that's insane. So I guess we'll draw the Cliffhaven first. Attack for 3, and it's opponent's turn. Okay, opponent goes for Slip, draw a card, and we got Vampire. So let's play Vampire, and we'll go top 4. So we'll put the Spawnbinder Mage on top, and then get to throw some other stuff on the bottom. And next turn we can go either Grip of Desolation, like killing the runes, or even the Unknown Shores right now, because opponent's been struggling to find blue mana. Yeah, I mean right now if they play a big creature here, I would Grip and remove Unknown Shores. Cyclone Sire, yeah, I mean that definitely wants to get gripped rather than salvoed. Removing the ruins could end up being better in a long game, but I think this game could be over pretty quickly, so let's remove our opponent's only source of blue mana, and I mean with one more land we can play Bane of Balaged, and I could start attacking opponent's mana base. This game seems pretty over. And the second I say that, we get the concession. So, I mean, nothing opponent played was really scary. Blinding Drone, that does make Boulder Salvo better than Visions. But yeah, nothing. Let's see, Warping Whale, Power Toughness 1 or less. I mean, that does hit some of the things that we saw that game. Though I guess Visions is better against the Cyclone Sire, but we've got Complete Disregard, Oblivion Strike, 2 Spawnbinder Mages, and Grip of Desolation. Oh, I just realized, yeah, I actually had 4 things in when I mentioned the Ruin Processor earlier. When I had the Witness Stand, actually had 4 ways to exile. So yeah, let's run this. Okay, Sand doesn't have white currently, but I mean it's insane once it gets white. It has this holdout settlement, so if we draw a black creature like an Essence Depleter, that gives us a little more leeway, maybe getting to white. But once we get white, this hand is just absurd. So I'm going to keep this hand. And we got the white. So this should be a pretty fun game for us. Might be pretty frustrating for our opponent. Drowsy Mimic. Opponent makes it 1/4. It's funny. So I think we'll just go for another Cleric. Could go for Oath of Gideon, but Cleric means we can probably start gaining life a little more quickly. Opponent's stuck on 2 mana, which doesn't really matter this game, because this game's going to go really long, so opponent being stuck on mana I don't think is going to affect too much. They should be attacking with their Mimic here, and they do. We'll just gain the life. And I think we'll go with Spawnbinder here, because it can block all of our opponent's creatures this turn. So I think that'll prevent more life loss than going for Oath of the Gideon. Though I guess Oath, the opponent doesn't really want to attack into it, so maybe we would gain a little more life that way, but I don't know if I even want to trade off these ally tokens at this point. Because we'll have use for them. We have 4 tapping effects. Hedron Archive. Nice. So we can go Hedron Archive into Oath of the Gideon. And once we find our Cliffhaven Vampire, we're going to be looking pretty good. And we can get Chain Mage, start draining. Kozilek, that's fine. Let's block with Spinebender. Oh, they didn't. I think they probably could attack there. So we'll just gain some life. There's the Cliffhaven. We can play both of these this turn. That's really sick. This deck is awesome. Yep. So we're going to be draining. The opponent's going to lose 6 life a turn. We're going to gain 4 life a turn. And we can be tapping. Yeah, we'll just keep the Warden tapped down on opponent's upkeep. Oh wait, when you gain life, each opponent loses 1 life. Okay, so it's not for as much as you gain. Still, that's a pretty quick clock, but not as fast. Bane of Balaged. Welcome to the party. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we can send the flyer in here. Go upkeep, tap. What? Already? Dang. Yeah, this deck's brutal. Just a little too quick I thought these games would go a little faster. All right, I'll see you for the next round. Okay, in queue, ready for round 2. Okay, opponent. I've played this opponent before, and yeah, this hand's fine. And we are on the draw, so that's good. Okay, play cleric of our own. If opponent wants to trade, probably don't. Courier Griffin. So we'll go for. Yeah, we'll go for Cliffhaven Vampire here. And opponent probably has removal spell for next turn, so unfortunately, I think this combo is probably going to be broken up. Even if they had a pump spell, like if they attack with Griffin, I'll block with Vampire, I suppose. Otherwise, I'd just be taking 2 damage a turn. Okay, shoulder to shoulder. Maybe I'll want to Oblivion Strike one of those creatures soon. So attack with both. At this point I could double block the Cleric, since, I mean, it is bigger than our Cleric that we'd be losing. Though our deck is more based around sitting back and gaining life. Yeah, I'll just take the 3. Ooh, and a pump spell. Okay, that sucks. So we do lose our Vampire. And we get Spawnbinder. So we can O-Strike the Griffin now. Or we could go for Spawnbinder. I think I'm going to go for Spawnbinder. Could also go for Munda, but I like Spawnbinder a little better. So if opponent doesn't have anything, this means we're going to take 1 damage next turn. So we can block the Cleric with Spawnbinder, and then gain 2, take 3 from the Griffin. So Bone Saw. It goes on the Griffin. Griffin comes in, so we'll take 4, and we'll gain 2. Freerunner. Freerunner is a bit annoying. Though Cleric is a very good draw. So probably want to tap one thing, leave Munda up. Take 3 damage. So settlements, tapping. Actually, we can go Cleric first. And tap this Cleric for red. Go beginning combat step. Oof, can't keep the Oath of Gideon. That's unfortunate. So we'll have to top deck allies at this point. I don't think the game's going that long, but we'll do that order. Alright, so let's go to opponent's turn. If they just pass to us, we'll tap down the Griffin, have Munda back. Okay, they're moving that over to the free runner. So, I think that's just the same thing. So we'll tap, we'll tap down free runner. Yeah, we'll do that. It is an ally. Opponent could have gained life there if they wanted. So we'll take 3. Cinder Hellion, let's go to 6. Okay, so we have a decision point here. They have no cards in hand. Like we should be fine here. They would need to top deck something pretty good. I think if we just go Bane and we go Spawnbinder, tapping a War Cleric to tap Griffin, then we could basically have, I think, good blocks for next turn. I mean, we could get top deck out, but we also get to gain 2 life, so we go up to 8, so I think that's fine. We could also Oblivion Strike like the free runner, but nah, I like this better. Could also just let the opponent attack and plan to gain 4 life with the War Clerics. Because that way we can definitely block everything. Excuse me. That way we can block everything really effectively. Let's see. If we go Spawnbinder, Cleric, tap Griffin, got these 3 creatures back. Opponent attacks with everything. We have to put 2 here, and then Bane on the Hellion. We go to 8. We take 3, so we go to 5. If we just let opponent attack, we do get maybe better blocks. We gain a little less life. I think I'll tap the Griffin. Opponent might take this. They might take this attack here. I mean, it's their last chance to make a dent in my board. Like, they could kill one of my clerics, and if they wait till next turn, things are just going to get out of hand for them. I mean, it's going to cost them 2 creatures for one of mine, so it's not very good. And they're also going to get us to a little lower life total. Okay, that's a pretty interesting attack, just with the free runner. So I think that's pretty interesting. Like, which one do we want? Right now we just have 3 allies in play. I think Munda is more important overall, so let's block with these. Like, if we draw another ally, get to just keep the chain going. I think that's worth losing out on 1 War Cleric. We still have 1 left in the deck and 1 in play right now. They drew a land. And we can Oblivion Strike the Hellion. And start getting in with Bane of Balaged. Start removing some lands. could maybe try to get more aggressive here, but I think I'll just send Bane. And then with the Spawn Binder Mage, we should be able to, like, even if opponent plays a creature next turn, we could tap on opponent's turn and then tap on our turn to get Bane through again. That might be a little bit risky, but that'd put them down to just a few lands in play, and that's assuming that they actually draw a creature next turn. And then at a certain point, Bane is just going to lock him out of the game. But on the other hand, we might not need to really take risks. Like, our board is pretty nice. The first ally we draw is probably going to draw us into another one. And of course, our deck is really strong. We've got a lot of removal left, so lengthening the game probably isn't a bad idea. Especially against a deck, like a red-white deck that's running Bonesaw, Tandem Tactics, so like the longer the game goes, like the quality of our cards should be a lot higher. Though they could have something like Rolling Thunder, like one really good bomb that could hurt us. So yeah, that's the tension that's going on right now. But no matter what, I think our chance of winning this game is very high. Excuse me. Okay, so the opponent, wow. They ditched Cleric and Bonesaw. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's really interesting. I mean, they can't even win with the Rolling Thunder. I'm kind of perplexed. I mean, with the Wrath, okay, I just concede. Oh, that was kind of confusing. I mean, it should tell us a little bit about their deck, why they chose to make those like peculiar sacrifices. But I guess I don't know. Maybe I'll put them a little more likely on a Wrath, though. And they wouldn't have just conceded there, so they probably don't have Wrath in that sense. Serpentine Spike, that doesn't do it. Yeah, I really can't think of what that would be. So this is a deck where Visions probably isn't that great, since they are very aggressive. Searing Light would be better than normal here. Rune Processor, it's slow, but you know, being able to gain 5 life is, and have a really big creature out is pretty nice against a red-white deck. But it's probably just a little too slow. This all looks really good. The Chain Mage is not the greatest, but just another ally I think is fine. So we'll run this back. And yeah, this hand is very, very nice. Like, it only has 2 lands, but I mean, I can last for like 14 turns off just these 6 cards alone, and then if I get some more lands, get the Vampire out, which goes insanely well with the rest of these cards. So unless the opponent has a lot of removal, yeah, this game should be very much in our favor. I almost don't even want to attack, but I think I will. And there are a couple cards that kill the healer, but I think I'd rather have the healer die than our Cliffhaven Vampire. Spawnbinder Mage. Hopefully they don't have Wrath. So that would suck. This hand is really exciting. Trigger, trigger. We'll just take the 3 from that. It's not worth the Tandem Tactics. Our life total should be pretty safe this game. Gain 2, lose 1. Gain 1, lose 2. Let's get both of these in. Oh, that's unfortunate. They didn't have a trick last time, so I thought we'd be safe. Let's gain some more life in the meantime, and then I'll remove the mage. Still looking quite good here. 2 lands away from Bane, and we're at a ton of life. Still have a lot of life gain in play. Have destroy target attacking creature in hand. And I don't actually think the free runner is worth using the glare on. I think we just save the glare for something really large, because we can just stay at a healthy life total. I mean, removing the free runner does remove a 3-power creature from doing something about our Bane. And I mean, now throw on top the shoulder to shoulder there. I think it's worth removing. Touch of the Void. So we let that resolve. We could potentially double block here. Opponent doesn't send the cleric. I think they should. I mean, even though like they'd be trading a 3/3 for a 2/2, it should be worth it for them. And here's Bane. Should break things open. So there are definitely some cards that can kill it, but we get 2 lands out of the deal, and we might just be winning the game here. Opponent blocks. And Sure Strike. So that's one of the better answers. So back to parity here, but well, Serene Steward. That's one of the cards I could get, but we just have so much removal in the deck. By the time that card gets huge, we'll definitely have a way to deal with it, and we have one right now. So we could kill either one of those. Might just kill the War Cleric. The opponent wants to gain life, which they will. Then we can just attack for 3 here. My life total is pretty high. I guess we could get hit by a, well, Searing Light. I think that attack was still fine. I don't think them having another card that kills it was that likely. They had 1 card in hand. But yeah, that did really hurt. So I'd much rather be sitting here draining and them losing. Or I guess just draining for life. Hedron Archive, that's nice. Let's draw some cards right now. Spawnbinder Mage. And another War Cleric. Get a Drain. And another Drain. Might be able to start pushing for damage soon. Not yet. Got another good blocking creature. Nice, Oath of Gideon. So we get to drain twice from healer. And then we've got plenty of allies to tap down on opponent's turn, and then tap down on our turn and get some damage in. Actually, I should just wait till end of opponent's turn there, in case they have like that destroy target tap creature card. Oof. That should do it. Yep, another spawn binder. Tap that down, attack for lethal. Most bull deck I've ever seen. I don't disagree. I think this is quite the bull deck. So yeah, on to match 3. Okay. On to match 3. So lose the die roll again, and opponent chooses to play first. That's what we wanted. And this hand is questionable. So we don't have white mana, and we need white mana for this hand to function. We are in the draw. Like, it's fine, but I think our deck's really strong and should be able to mulligan pretty well. So let's go to 6. And yeah, we'll go to 5. With a white and another land, this hand becomes okay, but I think 5 would be better. Yeah, this is fine. And I think I just keep that on top. I mean, obviously we do want to draw lands right now, but having relatively unconditional removal for the early turns with just one more land. We already have Cleric and Glare, so we're not going to get run over too quickly. Okay. We'll chat with opponent. So a Scythe Master. And I would trade with the Cleric if opponent attacks. Even though ours is, again, probably more important than theirs. I like just shutting down this board. Like, and we didn't have a Cleric at that point to start gaining life. Let's just disregard that. Opponent passes, so we'll go with healer. We've got 5 cards in hand, 4 stuck on white. Just an Expedition Raptor, that's perfectly fine. Definitely not going to glare that yet. Maybe they're going to go another Raptor, they're going to Relief Captain. Alright, we'll glare that. Okay, let's go with Spawn Binder. I can block the captain for a turn. Okay, Boulder Salvo. Take 3 here. And Vanguard's nice. Let's start with the Chain Mage. If we draw land, then that's much better to go Chain Mage into Vanguard. If we don't, we'll take off next turn to play Vanguard, or to play Archive then Vanguard. Or we could draw a spell and then just cast that and delay it another turn. Okay, Devour in Flames. And a Free Runner. That was a good sequence. Okay, Spawn Binder. Could hold the fort here. Oof, Isolation Zone. Wow. Yeah, they had 3 really good removal spells. So things aren't looking as good now. And 2 spawning beds. We're in trouble. 2 spawning beds is a big deal. Oh, I thought this guy was a 4/4. Crap. Yeah, we're in trouble. That's unfortunate. So if we double block the Free Runner, we go to 10, and then with like another reasonably sized creature, we could hold opponent off here. If we take it to next turn, block, put counters on, we go to 7, and then opponent would have 3 creatures. If they attacked with all, we take 5, we go to 2. That might be fine. Obviously, having the Vanguard out puts us in such a better long-term situation where we won't necessarily have to lose creatures. I guess the problem is that we still have to deal with the Free Runner on a future turn. Because we'd be at 2, and then opponent would make another 3 1/1s. Then we'd still have to block the Free Runner. We could draw removal. So this is one of those, like, do you play it safe in a spot where playing it safe might not be enough to win? Or do you take a risk that's a very risky risk? And there's definitely, like, if we draw like a Cliffhaven Vampire or Spawnbinder Mage, one of our 2/4 allies, we might be able to just lock the board down. If we block here, we go to 10, opponent makes the 1/1s, we can block. If we draw something, we can hold opponent off, then the other spawning bed. We're still fine. But and if we do draw removal for the Free Runner, then next turn actually goes quite well for us. We go to 5. So yeah, I'll take it. That seems really, really close. And if we do make it out alive, having the Vanguard, that could help us finish up the game pretty quickly. And they have a Vanguard. Bane of Balagad, that's not what we wanted. So opponent's probably just going to attack with Free Runner. Oh wow, Vanguard plus spawning bed. Okay, this is over. I don't think we have any ways to deal with that. I can probably just concede now. I'll give a second. We get the Bane out. Everyone's gonna have like a million large creatures in play. Yeah, let's concede. Our draws were pretty nice from that point on, but that was definitely too much for us. So a lot of removal. Yeah, we'll run it back, and we'll draw first. I mean, we did mold a 5. I think that was really what did it. Otherwise, we were pretty close to taking the game back. And this hand's perfectly fine. Because we do have a lot of removals, so we should be able to handle Munda's Vanguard in future games. Okay, opponent keeps. I'll do War Cleric a little late. Okay, free runner. So we get a Spawn Binder. Shoulder to shoulder. Does make me more interested in blocking. Nope. Oh, that's good. I said that was supposed to be an attack. I was kind of thinking maybe opponent was thinking what I was thinking, that I was going to block, and they're like, he might block this turn. I'll wait. I have pump spells or something. But no, it's probably good for us overall. Another Spawn Binder. We could run that out before and hope the opponent goes for a removal spell, and we could protect our Vanguard that way. I think that's what we'll do. On the other hand, if opponent, well, they didn't play a land last turn. I mean, maybe they have Boulder Salvo and they're mana short. Although I guess that could push us into either direction. If they're going to play a removal spell this turn, no matter what, we'd want the Spawn Binder out there. But could go for Vanguard. Could also go for Spawn Binder, and if we draw a land, I could grip, remove a land, and then go for Vanguard. Might protect it a little bit. Alright, let's go for Spawn Binder. So, beginning of combat. Tap down the free runner. There's a Seer's Lantern. Okay, and Salvo. So, well, we're still, well, I guess nothing's changed. Just gonna go for Vanguard now. Might as well attack for 2. I mean, we could try to protect the Vanguard from destroy target tap creature, but I don't think that's likely. Opponent doesn't have double white, so they can't Isolation Zone, so they only have Devour as the rule spells that we've seen so far. So Vanguard might survive for a turn. If it survives for 1 turn, that's really good. Getting the Spawn Binder up to 3/5 is pretty nice. Okay, Stone Fury. Alright, didn't get a land. Probably Oblivion Strike now. I prefer to use Salvo on that, but don't have the mana for it. Cinder Hellion, land. Seer's Lantern. Oh, that actually works. So we can do that. And keep getting in there. If opponent still doesn't have double white, I'm going to remove their planes, keep them off Isolation Zone and white cards. And then next turn we go for Bane. And Bane should be very safe. Like, if the opponent has Devour, they're going to cast it here. And you know, they can't get the double white for Isolation Zone. So Bane is probably going to work. Not sure what opponent's looking for at this point. Somehow getting Kozilek's Return into their hand. I don't think there's anything that'll do it. Okay. So, game 3. Rune Processor could be kind of cool, give us some extra life, but I mean the Chain Mage isn't that great, but it's just another ally, so run it back. Still would like to be on the draw, and opponent chooses to play first, so we'll keep this. I mean, not a bad hand. Obviously, turn 2 Cleric is nice, and we've got Glare, so we don't get run over too quickly. But we also have Hedron Archive into Bane of Balagad, and that could be really good. The opponent has 3 removal spells that can get rid of that. We get Spawnbinder Mage. So, how do we want to play these turns? Could trade Cleric with Cleric. Can't trade Cleric with Cleric. Never mind. So we'll just take 3 here. And yeah, I'll just kill it with the Glare, I suppose. It's not really what we want to kill with Glare. But I mean, it does slow opponents' attack down. I mean, it's a useful utility creature at some point in the game. I'd like to kill like a 4/4 or something. So next turn we get the choice of either Spawnbinder or Archive. Another Spawnbinder. I think we just run out Spawnbinders for consecutive turns, because the opponent does have 3 ways of killing Bane of Balagad once we get it out, so I'd rather just maybe eat some of those removal spells first and finish with Bane. Okay, opponent flies over, plays Alpha Protector, not very good against us. So I think it's just another Spawnbinder. I guess we'll tap down the Sky Climber. Or we could just let it attack. And if opponent wants to fly it in, like we take 1 extra damage, like we're gaining the 2 here. But if they want to play something big, then we gain 2 extra life. So Mobilizer Eldrazi, yeah, that's pretty good. Oh, attack sub. Well, I should have something at the beginning of combat anyway, but I mean, opponent playing that pre-combat, then going to attacks, maybe I just want to tap the Climber. I guess not. So yeah, let's just gain some life. And Seer's Lantern, that's nice. I think I go Archive into Lantern, though I could also go Lantern Scry, and then cast Bane next turn anyway. So I get 1 extra Scry that way. I mean, the problem is then eventually I'm going to have to spend 4 for Archive. This is kind of a close call. So 3... Like, I might get 1 extra Scry over the whole game from saving Archive for a turn. It's possible, but I think just having Archive out probably makes more sense. Was opponent playing doing something our turn? I guess not. Definitely surprised that they didn't attack with the Sky Climber. That was interesting. Each creature toughness greater than its power can't block this turn. Good. Tap down Climber. And then if opponent wants to like push through with Eldrazi, that's fine. But they probably just want to use Spawning Bed. Well, if they don't have any more colorless sources, then maybe they want to hold on to it. If they have a color source plus Spawning Bed, they'd want to be getting through with the Immobilizer each turn and all the tokens. Alright, I'll block. Could just be a bluff. If opponent has 3 damage, I mean, then they're not killing my cleric. Okay, Unknown Shores. Does that mean I can scry? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? I think so. Yep. Now the Spawning Bed is good against the Bane as a Stone Fury, yep. But, I mean, good news is we've got Hedron Archive, Seer's Lantern, so, I mean, we're going to have a lot, if this isn't Munda's Vanguard immediately, we're going to have a lot better, well, it's Vanguard. So, let's start by scrying. We have a lot of removal, I mean, we should be able to kill that. And upkeep, we can scry. We'll tap down the Climber. Go to our upkeep. Use these. Scry. Munda. I mean, that's interesting. I definitely want Munda. I mean, I don't know about it. It's scrying right now. This is actually a tough call. I mean, Moon is really good, but if opponent makes spawning bed and then starts making +1/+1 counters on their guys, like, I'm just getting so wrecked here. So I should probably just put Moon on the bottom. I mean, it gives me some extra shots at being able to kill Moon immediately. If I can kill Moon immediately, I think I've got a good chance at this game, even without... Well, so I keep saying Moon to the Vanguard. So I'm going to put that in the bottom. Draw. Cleric. So... 1... We have a Salvo. It's probably Unknown Shores. Sack this. If we draw a land Salvo, that could do it. We draw a Complete Disregard, land Oblivion Strike. Immolating Glare. Okay. So opponent's going to get at least one turn here. And that's a problem with the Immobilizer Eldrazi if they get another colorless land, so... This is not looking great. I can upkeep, tap the core Sky Climber. And if opponent wants to use their Vanguard tapping it, I mean, maybe they'll just use their spawning bed right now. Tap 1. Guess I'll go to my... I guess I'll let them move ahead here. Each creature you control. So... let them attack. I might just send Alpha Protector or nothing. Okay, so let's just gain the life, I think. And then upkeep. And if we can remove the Vanguard now, I think we're still fine. Settlements goes bottom. Class Rehealer. Yeah, it's okay. But, I mean, we're going to be taking a lot of damage soon. So, not the best. Wow, I guess they can sack the Scion to use a mobilizer, so that's a problem. And probably just gonna let them attack with everything. Use Glare on something. I mean, maybe. I mean, they're probably just gonna sit back though. Relief Captain, jeez. And the hope is that they'll, well, now with the Relief Captain, they've got another ally. If I just drew a removal spell, this game would be pretty easy. I have a lot of them. Oh yeah, I had the Archive plus Lantern. That's a lot of draws. Alright, if opponent wants to attack, they might just sit back another turn. They're sending in the... Oh, they're 3/3s now, so it's going to be 4/4s. That's really rough. Wow. So, Glare the Flyer. I can do this in front of two of these. think I can win this game anymore. That's really unfortunate. Like, both games we lost were to the Vanguard plus Spawning Bed. I mean, it's just such a powerful combo, and we have so many removal spells on our deck that, like, it's... Yeah, I mean, we're drawing lots of cards. I'm just really surprised we didn't find an answer. We drew both Immolating Glares. Just complete disregards, too late. With the Gideon. Yeah, that's it. So, yeah, I thought I'd go undefeated with this deck, but I think that was pretty unfortunate to just lose to that one card. But, yep. Good games. Yeah, hope you enjoyed watching it. This is a pretty special deck. I don't think you'll find something like this synergistic and sealed that often. So hope you enjoyed watching it, and I'll see you next time.